going on? Hopefully you can hear me well. But I decided, back in the day, I always used to make some commute videos on my way to work. And the reason is lack of time, because I was in the office 4 to 5 days a week. Now I work from home, 3 days a week typically, so I'm able to make a video, in the mornings before work, if I have the time, if I get up early enough. But now, more and more subscribers are coming in, so I feel the need to at least take some time, maybe on my Friday commute when the week is almost over, and just talk about anything, shoot the shit. So for my new subscribers, just so you know, I've had a YouTube now for quite a few years, and I've been inconsistent, to say the least. I've made all kinds of videos. I mean, the bottom line is they're all about investing, but I've been through it all, right? My start was dividend investing. I made an attempt to do some day trading. Obviously, that was stupid. I also became an ape, which was, investing in AMC and GME, buy and hold forever, hold the line, blah, blah, blah. And I've also become an options trader, which that was, to me, the best use of my time, learning options, because it helps you learn the stock market overall. And I did a lot of options trading, and I've lost a lot of money. I made a decent amount, and I lost it. It depends. You can't rush things when you're doing options. You have to make, calculated risks. You have to do take your time. I rush things, So anyway, yeah, if you ever go back, you can. I have all this content. Some of it may be relevant, for the current time. Some of them just be so old it's not worth it. But just so you know, I do have a lot of old content. If you guys are interested in what I talk about, it'll be much appreciated, because I did spend a lot of time back in the day when I had a chalkboard in my old house, and now I have a whiteboard. But of course it's raining. Hopefully the audio and the noise is okay. I had to wait till I'm on a pretty smooth path to talk about, to make this video. I'll post it if it sounds within reason. And just so you know, treat this like a podcast. Obviously, watching the video is useless. You don't want to see my ugly ass from this angle. You pretty much just want to watch, just listen to it. I mean, when I listen to YouTube videos, honestly, it's always, I don't look at the video. I just listen to the sound. So I don't know if everyone else is like that, because I'm always on the go. I'm always this place, that place, driving or working, But anyway, hopefully, the people that do listen via, YouTube, like a podcast, then you can enjoy this. Anyway, I also used to go under the name Broke Investor. That was my channel name. You'll see it in my back wallpaper too. It's still there. And I have so I think my Reddit is still under that. My, some of my other names I can't change. It's still under that. But it's what I found out. I thought it was legit at the time, because when I started, I was broke as hell, and I kept it, to be real. I'm a broke investor, started from nothing. But it turns out that people actually just don't want anything to do with anyone called a broke investor. So I changed it recently to retire on dividends, because that's really my focus. My only focus is to retire as soon as possible on dividends. And when I say retire, keep in mind, what I mean is the ability to retire. It doesn't mean I'm going to stop working. I can't stop working. I've been working since, I was able, 14 years old, whatever, and I haven't stopped. So I can't just stop working. It's not good for your health anyway. But I just want the ability, of course, here we go, it's pouring. I just want the ability to be able to stop working. This video is probably going to shit, but I'll probably talk loud since it's raining. But what the hell was I saying? But yeah, my primary goal is to be able to retire on dividends if I want to. First things first, I want my wife to be able to retire on dividends, to stay home with the kids. Right now we both work full time. One's in daycare, one's in school. So, we'll see how it goes. So anyway, let's talk about Yield Max. So once I found the Yield Max funds, well, when I first saw it, one of my followers on Instagram told me about it, and he's a yield chaser for sure. And he always gives, good stocks, good yields, and because I'm always like in the beginning, no, hell no, I'm not chasing yield. But this one, I was like, Then I looked at it again, I'm like, oh wait, their strategy is, actually makes sense. Their strategy is to do all the work of the options trading for you, and they'll pay you the premium based on how much you put in. I mean, that is an awesome strategy. So, and as Jay Petrielli said, probably butchered his name, this fund is great for people who know options, but just don't have the time to do it. So, that's me. I love options. I don't have the time, nor do I trust myself when I don't have the time to do it. So, when you take a company like Tesla, I never bought them. I bought them for my son. They've done very well, but I've never bought them myself because I only buy stocks that pay me a dividend. I only buy stocks that pay me a distribution. I'm not investing in anything that's not going to reward me in money. I shouldn't have to sell my investment to make money. And there's a great clip of Kevin O'Leary about this, that he does not mess with any stock that does not pay a dividend because he considers it a speculation. They don't pay a dividend. But anyway, my point is I never bought Tesla because they do not pay a dividend. And I saw Tesla, I'm like, oh, okay, 70. At the time, it was 70-75% dividend. I'm like, well, how the hell is that possible? But knowing options, it made sense because they're volatile. So if you sell options on Tesla, you can make a lot of money. And obviously, you have to know what you're doing, though. This guy, Jay, Petrielli, who runs these funds, he used to work for TD Ameritrade, and he actually helped acquire Thinkorswim. So he was a big part of that process. So he's got this massive background in options. So it's almost as if, you trust him a hell of a lot more than you trust yourself doing the options trading for you, and you'll be happy to pay the 0.99%. So that was my mentality when I first got into it. And then, they had Tesla, OWARC at the time, and Vidi, and then I bought Tesla, and then I went from there, right? So that's when I decided, I'm like, wait, with this potential income, I actually have a chance to retire early if I start investing in a taxable account. But all of my money is in retirement accounts. All of my money is in my 401k, my wife's 401k, my Roth IRA, my wife's Roth IRA. So I thought about it and I said, okay, well, the Roth IRA, you're allowed to take the contributions you put in tax-free. You're allowed to take that back out because you already pay taxes on them. So I thought about it for a couple weeks and I said, screw it. What do I got to lose, right? My main nest egg is in the 401ks. We had a decent chunk, maybe 35, 40,000 in our Roths. So I took out about 35 of it because that was, I think, the contribution part. And I put it right in the taxable. I said, screw it, I'm going for it. So now I have a taxable account where I invest in high-yielding funds that the goal is they will consistently pay out high yields. I do not say that I want capital appreciation, but I would rather that than obviously, losing money on capital. So the goal of my account is for my original investment to stay either flat or move up, and for my dividend income to be consistent. So as I'm investing in these stocks, I own mostly yield max stocks. I recently bought SVOL because I'm starting to venture out. However, yield max keeps going. They keep adding more stocks. Today they're launching Microsoft and Disney. Disney might be the first one that I'm not going to buy. I don't know. They've been terrible lately. So I think I'm just going to buy Microsoft when I have money. Unfortunately, I put a lot of my money in SVOL yesterday, but I'm going to buy Microsoft for sure. So yeah, that's my goal. Right now, I'm trying to average overall 50 to 55% annual dividend yield. So as I buy lower yields, lower being 50% for SVOL, I'm going to, make sure that I'm still averaging out 50 to 55% yield. I have so much in Tesla and the others that what I bought in SVOL didn't even phase my total yield. So I can continue to add others, but I'm hesitant to because of their strategy. And I'll say it. I said it in my videos before. I'll say it again. Yield max strategy is amazing because what they do with their options, they sell the covered calls 5 to 15% out of the money. Again, this is so important because when the stock goes up, you want to take advantage of that. You don't want only the downside. I don't want to invest, $10,000 in a stock and, only have the downside risk. I want some upside potential. Because again, when I buy Tesla, and I did a stupid move when I moved all this money. I bought, bam, like $1,100 Tesla shares, and I bought it at 15 or 16, between that range. And sure enough, it dropped like hell after that. And I've been trying to average down since, which I should have done in the first place. But anyway, that's besides the point. My strategy is to buy, these ETFs at the lowest price possible. And, again, once the stock price goes above my cost average, my cost basis, then I'm not going to buy any more. I'm going to buy the others where I'm down. So NVIDIA, for example, I'm up 9%, almost 10%. I bought 100 shares at, whatever, 22. It's at 24, something like that. I'm not going to buy any more right now because I'm not going to average up because all of these others I'm trying to average down. That being said, back to the 5 to 15%, when these stocks go up, when the underlying stocks go up, my ETF will go up. So that's the potential I want. When you look at QYLD, XYLD, RYLD, JEPI, JEPQ, whatever the hell else there is, if you look at the prospectus, they sell covered calls, at the money. I'm about to go on the highway. Hopefully it's not too loud, but we'll see. Which means they sell covered calls at the current price of the stock when they do it. So there is no upside potential in the capital. There is, however, the full downside potential. So, I don't know. I have to look more into those funds historically to see how that's done. But I don't want that capped. They should really consider selling covered calls a little further out. I know their yield is not that great as is, but, they're doing it on the whole index, so it makes sense. They're very diversified in that aspect. However, yield max kind of put them in check because yield max says, okay, we'll just sell covered calls on individual stock. That way you pick and choose. Me personally, as a dividend investor, I don't buy dividend ETFs. I buy the stocks that I want, because I do the work. I know what stocks, I know what companies I want to own. So that being said, when I look at covered call ETFs, I don't buy a covered call ETF that does covered calls on an ETF. I do an OARC, but that's a different story. So why would I do it on a covered call, ETF? Why would I buy XYLD, which I believe that one is, based on the S&P 500 or so stocks, some of them not very volatile at all. So why would I sell options on those? It doesn't make sense. But what makes sense is the diversity. But anyway, YieldMax will cover that. They're going to make tons and tons of different funds, many underlying stocks, and you can diversify yourself within their own funds. So you pick and choose. You say, okay, well, this stock I like, but it's not very volatile, so selling options on them is pretty freaking pointless. And that's true on a lot of them, believe me. Because I used to try to, do options on a lot of stocks, and the ones that are not volatile, it's not worth it. It's just not worth your time. That's why in the beginning, these funds, they were going to do a fund on Berkshire Hathaway, which, the name itself would bring people in. However, not a volatile stock. It would have paid 2 to 3% annually. So who the hell is going to buy that after looking at Tesla with a 70% yield, or OARC with a 50% yield, or Nvidia 50%? You're not. That's the point. So yeah, that is my strategy. Right now I own mostly YieldMax funds, and I'm kind of blown. I lost my shirt a little with the big buys at the high price because everything tanked since then. But Nvidia, I'm up. The other ones, my strategy right now, I'm buying 10 shares per day of the stock that has sunk the most based on my total, gain percentage. So, if I'm down massively on a stock, I may just continue buying that stock as long as it's down for the day. Or if one of the stocks, when I say stock, I mean ETF, if one of them is down 5% today, okay, that it's probably going to jump back up, so let me just jump in that now. That's my strategy. Average down on every single ETF that I own until my cost basis is at or below the current price. When that happens, my strategy will be to hold, use that income, and venture out more, right? Then I'll have the time, I'll take the time. I'll either keep buying more YieldMax funds that come out, or I'll buy other funds as they come. And then when all's said and done, when I get to a comfortable point where I'm making, say, $100,000 a year on dividends, then I'm going to flip the switch a little, and I'm going to invest in individual stocks again. Keep in mind, I am still oh my God, this freaking rain is killing me here. I am investing in individual stocks through my wife's 401k. So I'm not, when I say I only invest in YieldMax, it's just in my taxable. My retirement, I'm doing my own thing. Those are buy and hold forever, so I can wait. I can buy the visas and go the dividend growth route because I can't touch it anyway. So if I buy a stock that pays 0.5% dividend yield, it's better, to me, it's better off with the Roth 401k because, by the time all that dividend growth compounds over the years, my yield on cost could be, 5-10% on Visa, which is good on Visa. Stable company. I know it's a joke compared to these other funds, but that's why they're in my taxable. If I can find a way to retire on dividends, then I'm going to go for it. Even if this doesn't work out, and I can only use this money for day-to-day expenses, pay my daycare bill, pay my mortgage, to me it's a win. I mean, I can almost do that now, honestly, when the September payment comes in. But I'm not doing that. I'm going to, by the way, I'm not doing DRIP, dividend reinvestment plan. I never do DRIP on any of my accounts because I don't want them buying the stocks automatically. When I get that dividend, I take it, stays in the account. When I have the time, I buy what's on sale. So again, my strategy on my taxable account is when I do, I deposit $250 new money a week, and then I manually reinvest the dividends. So the idea, I would like to buy 10 new shares per day based on what is on sale. Because I have my set base right now. I'll add more as I go. I have to do, these high, and if I'm looking at anything above 10%, I have to do the research. I can't be jumping in like I do normally. I always rush. So I have to take the time. Like one stock, for example, SPYI, that one, it says it sells covered calls out of the money. Well, it said it on Robinhood. I didn't even see it on their website, so I don't even know. I mean, I have to look at that one, because another place I saw I don't know, something with a premium to cover the upside. I don't know. But if any of you guys know about SPYI and you know if they sell covered calls out of the money, please share. Please write a comment about that and share any link you have, because I was struggling to find out information on that. Because that is one that's like pending on the doorstep, whether or not I'll invest in it. SVOL, to me, they pay 15% dividend, and their strategy is not, like no other. They short the VIX, but they cover the downside. Oh my God, this fucking weather, man. You can't make this crap up. Try to make a video, my Friday commute, and it's pouring. This audio is probably going to sound like complete shit. So, but I'll probably post it anyway. And by the way, I'm sure you guys know, I don't edit videos. I record everything on my phone, because I don't even have a laptop to do this crap. I record everything on my phone. I don't even listen to it, and I just post it. I don't care. It is what it is. If it's bad, obviously people won't listen. If it's good, people will keep coming back. And that's as real as it gets, I'm not gonna make a video, watch the whole thing, edit, I shouldn't have said that, or I shouldn't have said this, or maybe I'll do this, Number one, I don't have time for that. Number two, just take it as it is. This is it. This is me, this is the video. I'll talk about this investing all day if people want to listen. But anyway, so that's my strategy for the taxable account. So right now I have about $38,000 to $39,000 in there, and I make about, I haven't made a chunk yet, but the goal is first month being September, I'll make $1,900 in dividends, distributions, which will go right back into the account to buy whatever's on sale. And that's, my goal is to average out at 50%, 50 to 50%, 50 to 55% dividend yield. This rain is really effing me up. And if I can stay at that, I should be able to retire, me and my wife, within 5 years, easily. And that's without putting anything on top of it. That's without considering any bonuses I'll get, the more money I'll have. But that's also assuming I could put $250 a week in, no problem. Reinvest all my dividends, no problem, and not use it for expenses. Because the biggest problem with this strategy, in my opinion, is taxes. Because when you invest in covered call ETFs, in most cases, it's such a short-term turnaround that it's a taxable event right away. And short-term capital gains, options in general, that is all taxed at regular income, which is the highest tax rate, that you have to pay. It's not taxed at this dividend rate, this long-term capital gain rate, dividend income rate that, Warren Buffett and all these rich bastards only pay 15% on. It'll be based on your tax rate, based on your income bracket, because this is now part of your income, this plus your salary. So that has to be considered, because if you make $100,000 a year on dividends and you do not consider taxes, you're going to get your ass whooped in January or February of the following year. So just, you have to think about that. I've only thought about it. I did not prepare for it. But I kind of started this journey a little late in the year, so we'll see how it goes. My thinking is when it comes down to it, I'll just hold back 2 months worth of distributions, and I'll put that in my bank account to pay my tax bill. That's my plan. I don't know what you guys think about that. Oh yeah, one thing I wanted to cover is with these with these yield max funds, please keep in mind, I know someone mentioned this on one of the other channels, is when you buy these ETFs, like the new ETFs that are coming out, like Commute, all of them, right? Just because you bought early, it doesn't mean you're buying at a good price. Like, for example, if Coney comes out, and I made a short on this, but if Coney comes out and pays a 100% annual dividend yield, and that creates disruption in the market, everyone jumps to it, right? So they're all buying the ETF. That's not going to affect the price of the ETF. The only thing that affects the price is the underlying stock. So if, I'll say the net, what people are holding in Coney grows substantially in a day, and coin, the underlying stock, goes down, then Coney's going to go down. So you have to, again, because what they do is they do synthetic shares that mimic the movement of the underlying stock. So the underlying stock, the ETF moves with the underlying stock plus or minus income made from premium and interest from the treasuries, etc. So just wanted to point that out, and another part I just mentioned, the premium made from the ETFs, the interest made the ETFs goes into the ETF fund. So if coin or whatever goes down 10%, and you see Coney only going down 5%, that's because they're, the options premium that they've made in the meantime was able to increase the amount of the actual fund. But on distribution day, or should I say on ex-dividend day, that amount that they pay per share gets removed from the value of the stock of the ETF. So if Tesla pays $1 again, come on, dude, people can't drive in the fucking rain. If Tesla goes down $1 again, the ETF price will go down $1 on that ex-dividend day. But if the premium covered that, you're good. So again, that whole thing I wasn't sure about until I watched the video with Armchair or something, which is a long video, but it's really good. But I enjoyed it. Every interview he does, I learn more. Again, I always learn more. I like to think I know a decent amount, and then I'm learning stuff every day. Just getting involved with these covered call ETFs in general forced me to learn so much more as it relates to options, shorting, etc. But it's a good thing. The more you learn, the more you play around, the more you learn, the better you are as an investor. So sorry for those bumps. But yeah, this was my Friday commute. I'm not at work yet, but my commute is 1 hour. But I figured I'd make this video, kind of, again, podcast format, because there's no point in watching a video of some ugly guy driving, right? Hopefully the audio came out good. If it did not, then this video is going to suck. But if you enjoyed this video and you want the Friday commute bullshit videos to continue, please leave a comment and let me know, because that helps. If I don't get any comments like that, I'm probably, I do what I hear. I do based on what I hear. If I get bad feedback, then if the majority is bad feedback, then typically I'll stop that whatever I was doing. So I'm trying to go with the crowd, right? So we'll see what they like. Also, if you do like the Friday commute, shoot the shit, let me know what topics to talk about, and I'll do it, because anything investing, really. Let's talk about it. But if not, there are no topics. I'll just give an update to my account, what my plan is for what I did this week, what my plan is for next week, and what I think about the market, things like that. Anyway, this is not financial advice. I'm just a broke investor, like everyone else, and this content is for fun. Well, that being said, hope you enjoyed it, and I'm out of here. Later.